Hi guys, Asian movie recaps here. Today, we'll be recapping another fantastic film. In the meantime, please like and subscribe to our channel so that we may continue to provide movie recaps with plot twists and intriguing storylines. It may only take a few seconds for you, but it allows us to upload daily videos as soon as possible. Let's get started. When a mother learns that her mentally challenged son is accused of the brutal murder of a young girl, she conducts an independent investigation to prove his innocence. The movie begins in a field where an elderly woman is walking alone. She stops and starts to perform a strange dance. While the mother is cutting herbs in her store and watching her son play with a dog outside, her son is hit by a car, and seeing this she accidentally cuts her finger. She runs out to check if he is fine, but he tells her to go back in and runs to a taxi with his friend. They get in and chase after the car that hit him. A high school girl is murdered. Her body is found in a strange place. She was lit over the balcony of the rooftop where everyone can see. The police have just one suspect. He is a young man named Do-joon. The police come and arrest him. Do-joon, who is mentally retarded and has a very low IQ, is put into a police vehicle. When his mother sees that, she runs after the car. She runs for a while chasing after the car, but in the end, she can only watch as her son is taken away. He is taken into an interrogation room and a police officer tricks him into taking his trousers off. He tells him to hold an apple in his mouth and he kicks it off, breaking it into pieces. The officer threatens him to tell the truth, if not he will be like that apple. Do-joon is frozen with fear. He obeys every order. Two officers enter, and they take out the only evidence they have in the case. It is a golf ball stained with blood. The ball has his name written on it and it was found at the murder scene. Facing the murder interrogations, Do-joon cannot remember anything, and due to his mental illness, he cannot defend himself. The officers then take out a letter of confession. Written on the letter is how he supposedly committed the crime. They just need Do-joon's fingerprint. Soon after, Do-joon's mother gets to meet him. She asks if he is injured anywhere. Then she sorrowfully asks why he admitted to committing the crime. But Do-joon mistakes this as her reprimanding him and he gets angry at her. She gets no hint from him and she tries to think of another way. She stands outside in the rain waiting for the police officer. She sneaks into his car and pleads with him. She tells him that Do-joon cannot even kill a bug, so how can he kill a human being? But the officer calmly tells her that Do-joon signed the letter of confession already and so the case is closed. She goes pale upon hearing this. The next day, Do-joon is taken to the place of the murder. They want him to recreate the murder. The whole town gathers to watch this. Under the police's direction, Do-joon uses a rock to hit the head of a dummy and then places the dummy over the balcony to recreate the murder. His mother, who is in the crowd, is handing out papers while crying. She says that her son is innocent but no one cares to listen. She uses all her savings to hire a lawyer for her son. She brings the lawyer to the jail so he can learn more about her son's situation. Do-joon rubbed both sides of his temples with both hands while trying to remember it. He can't remember anything. Soon, the lawyer loses patience. He makes up excuses and then leaves. When Do-joon's mother goes to meet him again, he is out drinking and in the arms of an escort. The lawyer tells the mother that there is no need to worry about her son anymore. He tells her that she was judged as a mentally ill patient and says that Do-joon will have to be in jail for 4 years only. The mother cannot let her innocent son be condemned as guilty, but she can't do anything by herself. Then she remembers one person, Jin-tae, who is her son's friend. Jin-tae is a rebellious and destructive boy. He had often let Do-joon take the blame for his actions. He wonders if this is one such case. She sneaks into Jin-tae's house and searches everywhere. She finds a golf club and sees a blood stain on it. At that moment, she hears sounds coming from outside. It is Jin-tae who has returned. She hurriedly hides in the closet and Jin-tae enters with his girlfriend. The mother watches as Jin-tae undresses his girlfriend and they have sex, unaware that someone is watching from the closet. After they have finished, while the two are asleep, the mother quietly sneaks out with the golf club. She hurries to the police station, believing that by proving Jin-tae to be the killer, her son will be innocent and freed. She barges into the police station holding the club, but a police officer tells her that the red stains are not blood but lipstick. Her hopes are crushed, and when leaves the police station, walking in the rain. That night, when she gets home, she sees a young boy sitting and playing games on the computer. She thinks it is her son at first, but when he turns around, she sees that it is Jin-tae. He demands 5,000 won to make up for what happened that day. She gives him all the money she has at the moment and says she will pay the rest back gradually. Jin-tae takes the money and feels a bit sympathetic. and he decides to give her some clues. He tells her that the murdered girl was Do-joon. He tells her that she had complicated relationships and suggests that she should ask the people around her. He says it could have been a murder out of love. The mother visits the neighborhood near Do-joon's school. She happens to see two bullies harassing a schoolgirl. She hears the two boys asking about Do-joon. She breaks a bottle to attract passers-by in order to save the girl. She calls Jin-tae afterward. Later that night he catches the two bullies. After questioning them, he finds out that the two boys are looking for Do-joon's phone. It turns out that Do-joon had a difficult life. She only had an alcoholic grandmother, and to earn a living she had to have sex with many men. They say that Do-joon always took photos after each time, including the two bullies. And now that she was dead, they were scared that their photos would be exposed. They claim that they would get in trouble if that happened, so they wanted to find the phone to delete their photos. Hearing this and remembering what Jin-tae said about her death probably being a murder out of love, the mother reasons that the real killer might be among those men, and she decides to find her phone. She runs to Do-joon's house and sees her grandmother. The mother offers Do-joon's grandmother some money and asks her to help her look for Do-joon's phone. The grandmother gives her the phone and she takes it to the police station. She lets Do-joon look through the photos to see if he recognizes any of them. He recognizes one of them and she takes a look and realizes that she too knows this man. He is a junk collector. She goes to pay him a visit. She pretends she is a volunteer to ask for his testimonies. The elderly man then tells her that on the night of the murder, he saw Do-joon's murderer with his own eyes. He also says that he was at the scene of the murder when they recreated it with Do-joon. He tells her that the real killer is Do-joon, who was arrested. He narrates that on that night, Do-joon curiously followed Do-joon after he saw her enter a dark alley. After a while, he didn't see her anymore and he turned to leave, but at that moment, a brick was thrown from the alley. It almost hit Do-joon's foot. She called him a pervert and retarded. The low IQ Do-joon then remembered that his mother had told him that if someone bullies you, you must fight back, so he picked up the rock she had thrown at his feet and then threw it. Unfortunately, it hit Do-joon on the head. When Do-joon saw that she was bleeding, he dragged her to the rooftop. He had thought that by putting her there, someone would see her and save her. The elderly man had witnessed everything. The mother goes crazy and disagrees. She says he must have seen something wrong and insists that Do-joon is innocent and he will be let out soon. Then the man adds that after killing her, the killer stood and rubbed his temples with both hands. After hearing this, the mother breaks down. She knows that Do-joon does that often. She can't believe it. She had risked her life to prove her son's innocence, but in the end, her son was the real killer. At that moment, the man says he would call the police and tell them everything so that the killer won't be freed. He doesn't know that she is the killer's mother. She picks up a wrench and hits him on the head with it. She hits him again and again. She continues until the man is dead. In trying to hide her son's murder, she ends up becoming a murderer. She sets the man's house on fire to destroy his body. She doesn't care about right or wrong anymore. She just cares about her son. Time passes and she gets a visit from the police officer. He has good news for her. He tells her that they have found Do-joon's real killer. He says that they found Do-joon's blood on his shirt and says that the evidence is 10 times stronger than the gold ball. Although the killer said that he was friends with Do-joon and that the blood was from a nosebleed, but the police did not believe him. The mother went with them to the jail to see the supposed real killer. She sees him and realizes that he is also mentally ill. She thinks that maybe it's such people who cannot defend themselves that can be easily condemned as guilty. Holding back tears, she asks him if he has parents. He shakes his head. She can't hold her tears back anymore and she starts to cry. She knows that the kid is not the real killer. She is the only one who can prove his innocence, but she doesn't say anything. To save her son, she sacrifices another person. Soon after, Do-joon is set free. He doesn't remember killing someone and the mother also acts as if nothing happened. Until one day, the mother is about to leave to visit her hometown. While they are in the waiting room, Do-joon gives her a small acupuncture kit box. When she sees it, she breaks down immediately. She had dropped the box by mistake when she was in the junk collector's house, the day she burned down the house. There were scorch marks on it. The box was the only proof of her murder, but her son had picked it up and even gave it to her as a present. She hides her emotions and turns to leave. On the bus, there are other mothers who are happily laughing and dancing, but she is being tortured by her painful memories. After a while, she takes out a needle from the acupuncture box, lifts her dress, and then sticks it in her thigh so she can forget all her painful memories. Then she stands up and joins in the dancing. What do you think about this movie? Share your opinion with us in the comment section below. Please subscribe and turn on post notifications for our daily uploads. See you in the next videos and thanks for your support.